Alright guys, this is Nathara with CrowSong Lodge and I'm back again with another video. Today we're continuing the conversation about the fake witchy authors on Amazon. There has been a lot of discussion going on and a lot of confusion about what this conversation is actually about. So I want to discuss a lot of the things that have been coming up around the conversation and also further explaining about what else we have found out about it. So there's going to be a lot of explaining in this video. That's my point. So, a couple days ago, I released a really long blog article about the fake witchy authors on Amazon and talking about how these people are creating books, just churning them out in order to dominate the Amazon ebook sales. Now, this isn't an issue about using nom de plumes or pen names or magical names as their author names, which is a common point of confusion that people keep bringing up. I myself use a nom de plume. A lot of people do because there are a lot, well, there's just like a lot of fucking reasons to use a name other than your own. A primary point of which is that a lot of places in this country are still really conservative and it's still not really safe to put yourself out there as a practicing pagan or a practicing witch, and people who have actual day jobs are at real risk of losing those jobs or having things get really awkward and weird if they put out their identity on the internet or as in a book as a pagan or a witch or a Wiccan or whatever it is. You can lose your job, you can lose your residence, you can face a lot of discrimination, a lot of crime, a lot of hate crimes. It's a real risk in some places. I don't particularly face that risk. I don't think so. I live in the most conservative town I've ever lived in my life, so it could possibly be a risk. Other people are just more comfortable under a name that isn't their, legal birth name or whatever. There's a lot of reasons, and they're all perfectly valid. This is not the issue that we're discussing right now. What we're discussing is people making up entirely fake personas, characters, fictional characters that don't represent them in any way, and there probably isn't just one of. Another issue that has come up that people are confused about is the issue of ghostwriters. Now there's kind of two varieties of ghostwriters that are the main variety of ghostwriters that are happening right now. The more traditional kind of ghostwriter that people are talking about is where someone sits down with a ghostwriter and tells them their idea for a book. They sit down, they talk about an outline, kind of the way they want things structured. They communicate the story to them. There's a lot of interviewing, there's a lot of going back and forth. They communicate to the ghostwriter the story that they want to tell, and the ghostwriter takes that information and does the word crafting, the organization, and the editing of it to create the book that that person wanted to create, but for whatever reason felt like they weren't able to do. Time, ability, skill set, whatever the reason is, that they felt they couldn't create that book themselves, and so they hired another writer to put it into words so that it could become a book for them. But in essence, it is that person's story, and the ghostwriter just did the word crafting for them. So that's what we traditionally think of as a ghostwriter, and those ghostwriters make a lot of money. They're super well paid, and by a lot of money, I'm talking about like $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, $150,000. They get paid really, really well, and they absolutely should be. A new kind of ghostwriter is coming around, and this is a little bit more shady, where people are going to places like Fiverr or whatever and hiring people to write entire books for them, and they're just like, hey, I want a book on golfing. Can you make that happen? And they kick 150 bucks, 100 bucks, 50 bucks to a person, and that person, that's all they have is like golfing, or maybe like a 3-point summary outline of what they're supposed to write about, and told like, go make it happen. That ghostwriter comes back, delivers a book on golfing for 100 bucks, 150 bucks, and then that person who hired them puts their name on it and takes all the credit. Maybe they read the book, and that's about it. So those are kind of like the two different types of ghostwriters we have going on. The first type I discussed, who gets to sit down with their their employer and like really get the story and perspective and all that stuff from them is what we think of traditionally as a ghostwriter, and is totally cool. The second kind, who gets like $100 and has to do all the homework on their own and is really the author of the entire book but doesn't ever receive any credit, that's a bit more shady, but still not what we're talking about here. Um, Other people are thinking that we're talking about just shitting on everyone who uses self-publishing, and that is entirely untrue. I have friends who have self-published. I have friends who are consultants who help people self-publish and teach them how to do it. I think self-publishing is great. It's a great way to decentralize the power structure that publishing companies and major corporations have, and I think that's a fantastic thing to do. I think self-publishing is really, really fantastic. I own a lot of self-published books. I'm a huge fan of self-publishing as an industry. So we are absolutely not just shitting on self-publishers, and a lot of people are worried that like we're trying to say like if someone has self-published a book, then you absolutely can't rely on it, and that's not true. We totally recognize that people who self-publish books are just as reliable as people who have traditional publishing contracts. I have read some really terrible, false, fake, worthless information come out of people who have a traditional publishing contract. So that is not the issue here at all. Um, Other people have accused me or us of cyberbullying, and that is not the case at all. The issue, the books that we are looking at, I do not believe that real people are the authors of these books. I don't think these personas that they have created represent real people, and I don't think that anyone actually cares. These books are not attached to anyone's real experience in any way. The story, and I'm going to talk about this more, the writing of these books has been passed around from author to author to author, and there is no personal investment in these books at all. The bios that are attached to them are entirely fictional, entirely made up, as if you were writing a character in a story. Like that part is the part that they've actually taken the time to write. And odds are pretty good that the people who are publishing these ebooks have created several of these different author profiles and are just kind of churning out these books over and over again. And again, I'm going to talk about that process a little bit later on. And I also made the mistake of putting lots and lots of links in the original blog post. So you'll see in my updated blog post, which will be linked in the description below, that there's a lot more screenshots and a lot less having to click on links in order to get the full story. So that being said, moving into the additional research that I did, I had a fantastic person comment on the original post, the fake witchy authors on Amazon article that I did. And they basically said like, so what, PLR has been around forever. And looking up what PLR was, I realized that this was the term that I had been looking for. Here's my cane. He's so very helpful. I realized that PLR was the term that I have been looking for through this whole thing because I knew that it was a thing. It's what I said was going on, and what PLR is private license rights. So what that is those are digital items that people sell that you can then do whatever you want with them. You can edit them, you can modify them, you can claim authorship and copyright on them, you can change the sales materials on them, you can change them into another medium, you can just do whatever you want to them. So you buy them and then you have a full right to do whatever you want with them. Now there's other rights types. There's MRR, which is master rights resale, and there's RR, which is just rights resale, and those have more limited rights on what you can do with them, and they're basically just like different ways you're allowed to resell things, but you're not allowed to modify those. So what we're looking for is PLR items, and again, those are going to be like articles, ebooks, audio files, sales copies, videos, all sorts of different items, WordPress templates, just all stock photos, just all sorts of different types of digital media. And like I said, you can claim copyright, you can claim authorship, you can modify them, you can slice and dice them, you can do whatever you want with them and resell them for anything you want. And that's what is happening with these books. Now, again, like I said in the original article, this is not exclusive to the witchy genre at all. In fact, we tend to experience trends very late compared to the rest of various industries. And in fact, the romance writing industry tends to be hit with things like this, things in tech advancement and new technological developments first when it comes to writing. So they actually got hit with this stuff first. And we tend to be hit with technological advances and new stuff in the tech industry last, or like close to last. So this actually has taken like a really, really long time to get around to the witchy community. And this has been happening in the romance industry for over 10 years now. And that is when I first heard about it happening, like 10 years ago, because I have friends who are romance authors and they're in that industry and it was happening to them. And that is how, when I saw this trend happening after I started looking things up, after I saw the original tweets, I was like, I recognize what is happening right now. And so when I saw the PLR, when I started looking that up online, I was like, yes, this is exactly it. This is exactly what was happening. And once I had that search term, I was able to find all sorts of different PLR digital stores everywhere. And again, links are going to be in the article that I put in the description for this video. So we have all these digital stores, we have all these different communities, and I tried, Keldon and I actually tried for a whole day. I tried for 2 days, Keldon tried for a whole day, to find the original witchy books, the Wicca for Beginners book that everybody is using, and we couldn't do it, but I'm pretty sure that is because, and I read a lot of things on different PLR forums, which are very, very gross places to visit, and I do not recommend you go there, but if you want to, feel free to plug in, PLR forum right into Google and help yourself. But I read a lot of stuff on PLR forums that pointed me to the fact that these books are often included in these ginormous bundles on Fiverr. Now, if you go to Fiverr and search for PLR ebooks, you're going to find packages of ebooks available, and they're going to be listed like 8,000 ebooks, and you get them all across all these different industries. 8,000, 10,000, 15,000, 6 million, 8 million, 9 million at a time. And it's not just ebooks, it's, 6 million ebooks and 8 million articles, and you get them in a giant bundle along with rewriting software, all for the low, low price of $5. And of course, they're not going to list out every single title of every single article and every book they have. They just say like across all industry, including like these 10 different industries plus many more. So I'm pretty confident that these books are kind of just snuck in there. And then I had this horrible thought, like, these authors, these fake authors that are uploading these books on Wicca are probably not specializing in the witchcraft niche. They probably have books in your self-help niche, your automobile repair niche, your financial niche, your digital marketing. Like, they're probably just working all of Amazon, right? Because if you want to make a killing on your Kindle sales, why would you specialize? And I had a lot of comments come in on my blog article that were like, okay, obviously their goal is to lie, but why would you lie about a book? Like, yeah, the goal is clearly money. So, and I linked to a article on The Hustle, and it's linked again in the article. I'm going to link again in the description, so please go check it out. From The Hustle, who talked about a Kindle Gold Rusher who was, at the time of the article, 26 years old, selling 6,000 ebooks a month and earning $150K a month on Amazon. So yeah, this is not like I'm gonna make 15 bucks a month doing this. This is a real legit career. You can be making a lot of money doing it. So absolutely, like, click the link in the description and go check out the information, because there's a lot of evidence and a lot of documentation to prove what I'm saying to you right now. So go do that. So you have these documents, right? And I know, like, a lot of people are saying right now, like, okay, but when you upload a book to Amazon as an ebook, they have a plagiarism checker. You can't just buy a book and upload it, because they're going to catch it if somebody else did it too. Right. And remember, earlier I mentioned they come packaged with rewriting software. And you don't even have to use the software. Like, if you get a package and it doesn't have rewriting software, that's fine, because it's a lot of rewriting software on the internet. That's called rewriting software or respinning software. And what it does is you can load an article or an ebook or a sentence or whatever you want into the software. And what it will do is it will restructure your sentences and replace words with synonyms from preloaded thesauruses, so that you can pass plagiarism checkers. It'll just rewrite the whole thing for you. You don't even have to read it or review it. And bam, you have a whole new document and it looks original. Now, to be entirely fair, they're not well written. I mean, if you try to read the text, it reads badly. Like, it technically makes sense. You can get through it, but it looks like someone wrote it badly. Like, they're not a good writer. You can get the meaning of the sentence and information is transmitted to you, but it doesn't flow. It doesn't have that easy, flowing, elegant, nuanced, well-connotated manner that you expect from good writing. It's awkward and weird, but you get it. It makes sense. It just seems badly written. The way the sentence probably just came out the way I said it. So, and if you look, and I bought several of the books from the list that we compiled, and I did read them, and they do read that way. They seem very awkward and very weird. And again, I have included paragraphs from those books in the article, so if you want to see how bad and awkward they are. And I have also included the text from an article that I wrote that has been respun using some of the software in the link below. So go click the link. It is awkward and weird, but you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So this is how you can buy a PLR ebook online, 8 million of them for $5, re-upload them to Amazon or the internet or wherever, and get by a plagiarism checker. Now, one of the most popular plagiarism checkers on the internet is Copyscape.com, and you can go visit that right now if you want, and that's fine. I'll still be here when you get back. But that's the one that you can then pop your text into. You can upload the whole dang file if you want, and make sure it doesn't, ring up any warnings or anything, if you want to make sure before you upload it to Amazon. And please don't take this as instructions, okay? I'm just telling you how it works. These are not instructions. Please, nobody take this as instructions. So yeah, so then you take these ebooks. Now, there's a lot of curiosity about why you would want to upload so many books so quickly into the system. And I will give you a very quick overview about how gaming the Amazon system works. One, if you upload books in rapid succession, multiple books in under 60 days. So if you upload a book and then you upload a second book in under 60 days, then both of those books will rank more highly on Amazon automatically, no sales necessary, right? So if you keep doing that, you just upload one book every month or every 2 months, then all your books are going to rank higher and higher and higher the more you do. No sales required. Then if you hire fake reviewers and you get lots of reviews on those books, and you can hire fake reviewers to get like 60 reviews on your book for about $3. Those reviews will also help you rank higher and higher and higher on Amazon. And then on top of that, when you upload an ebook through Amazon self-publishing service, you get 5 days for free promotional period where you can give your book away for free. And each download of your free book counts as a sale, and each sale will make you rank higher and higher and higher. And then you can write to Amazon and you can just request to have your book put into a less competitive category. So you can say, upload your book to, the pagan and spiritual category, but then you can kind of niche down and be like, no, this one's Norse paganism specifically. And it doesn't really have to be like nobody cared. No one at Amazon is going to check. Like, so it could actually just be like a general Wicca book. It can be like, no, this is Norse, because there's no competition under Norse paganism, right? Theoretically. I haven't checked the numbers on Norse paganism. Don't believe me on that. But let's just say there's no traffic over Norse paganism, so you can be like, this is specifically Norse paganism. So because of these tricks you've used to rank higher, now you're ranking amazingly in Norse paganism and you hit #1. And because you hit #1 because of these tricks, you now get a big boost in your ranking across all the categories that you're associated in, right? So now you're like dominating the rankings, and all those free downloads are counting as sales. And then all that ranking is going to start getting you actual real sales from actual people you didn't even hire. So now you're making money, your ranking is getting you more sales, and those are going to lead to more reviews, and all that stuff is going to keep your ranking higher, which is causing you to beat out actual books from actual people who are not gaming the system, and that causes them to go down lower in the rankings. So you can see how people are able to just push out all these books that they're not even writing, run them through a respinner. They don't even have to read the books to try to rewrite them to get through the plagiarism checker. It's costing them $5 for a bundle. They can do it across all these multiple industries, make up all these different personas because Amazon's not checking who you are, and then cash out at the end of the day, dominating these sales $3 at a time, splitting it with Amazon. And that's fine because they don't care, because they didn't do any work at all and it didn't cost them a thing. So in the meantime, somebody who really did self-publish, who is a legit person, how are they supposed to compete with that? They're being pushed down pages and pages and pages. They're going to appear on page 6, page 7, page 8. When someone looks up a book that says, with a term like Wicca for beginners, real authors are not appearing until pages 6 and 7 and 8 on Amazon. And who flips that far back in the search results? SEO teachings show that people don't often go past page 2, and they almost never make it past page 4 in search results. So if you're a real author, self-published or not, and you're not showing up until page 6 or 7, like, what sales are you even going to get unless someone is specifically looking for you? So that means that if you're a real author, a real person who has put their actual experience, their actual research, their actual knowledge, and their actual time writing a book, self-published or traditional, you're going to have to be like a super social media marketing badass in order to compete with these people, because you're going to have to go off the Amazon platform in order to even start ranking and getting sales, and that's not okay. And that's the real problem that we have with these fake authors, is that they're putting out crap material. And they're pushing real authors down in the rankings and making it impossible to compete, whether or not you're traditionally published. If you're self-published, you can't compete with them either, and that fucking sucks, okay? And that's the issue. Now, Lisa Chamberlain might be an exception to this. But otherwise, like, the rest of these books have been really, really terrible, just from the ones that I've read. And from what I've been hearing from other people, they have also been terrible. Like, you can technically read them and understand what they're saying, but the quality is not great. So yeah, so that's my update. Again, there is there's a link in the description below, and if you want to see all the links, and if you want to see all the screenshots, and if you want to get more information, if you want to get more details, because this video is already long enough already, and I'm just doing the really high level summary here, please check out that link below and get all the details. But before I want to finish up, I want to reiterate that this whole conversation about fake authors and the PLR ebooks that are going around is not an attempt at cyberbullying. It is an attempt at helping people get to the real authors and helping them learn to discern what a real genuine book is, like how to find a quality book. And I know the community can be very cliquey, and I know that we can be very infighty in the pagan witchy community, like a lot. A phrase that a friend used was, "We like to eat our own." And that is not okay, you guys. I know there are a lot of people in the witchcraft pagan community who like to be extremely dogmatic. They bucking the cart, causing ripples, disrupting things, and doing the critical thinking is not comfortable for them, and it should be like that. It should be part of what we do. Doing that internal examination, being willing to look at the community, being able to look at what's going on in the community, and putting on our critical thinking skills should be super important. And this being told specifically, like personally being told myself by other people to stop questioning things and to not question other people ever, is not appropriate. So yeah, like we should rethink that stance if people are wandering around thinking that, and that we kind of put on this facade where we're like, we're all family, but then we're like, okay, but if you question something, I hope you get every nasty thing that you deserve. You're doomed forever, so mote it be. That's not appropriate. If you're going to pretend that everyone's family, then like be friendlier about it and don't write people off. Don't be mean and nasty. Don't be cruel. And be willing to question things around you, and I don't know, like just be better. So that's my sermon for today. That's where I'm at on this whole fake witchy authors thing. And again, click the link below if you want to see it really granular, if you want the links, if you want the screenshots. So that's it. That's it. Bye-bye.